Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Lily Reads. As you can tell by the title, we are going to be doing a July wrap up. I was able to get to about 14 books last month, which is crazy because I had a really busy July. So I assumed I wasn't going to read that many books, but that is a lie. I ended up reading a lot of books, and also I was like a mood reader in July. I told you guys a big goal of mine was to become a mood reader in 2025. I have been doing awful at that, but July I really gave it the college try, and I really tried to become a mood reader. I picked up books just based on if I was in the mood. I didn't care about a set TBR. I just wanted to read what like made sense to me, and so I gave mood reading a try. There was some winners, there was some losers, but let's get on into them because this is like the first month where I have stuff all across the board. We have things as low as 1 star, as high as 5 star, and stuff in the middle. So let's get into it. There are 2 books I do not physically own that I was able to get to. So the first one is Peter Swanson, Kill Your Darlings. Peter Swanson is an author I have enjoyed in the past and also not enjoyed in the past. So I'm always hit or miss on the Peter Swanson books I pick up, but this is his newest release, and this book is about a couple. We have a couple that has been married for over 20 years. They've known each other since they were in school, and one day the wife basically says that she wants to kill her husband. And so they are on vacation, and she pushes her husband down the stairs and he dies. And that leads us to go back in time to figure out like why she would want to kill her husband and how these 2 people came to be. Because the husband was writing a book before she killed him, and this book is going to tell secrets that they never wanted anyone to know. So she's frustrated that he would even try to do that. And so we go back in time to figure out why she would want to kill him and what secrets they are keeping. I gave this book 1 star. You know how it's crazy how I started off being like the wife killed her husband, because that's not a spoiler. That literally happens in the beginning of the book. So therefore there's actually no mystery or thrilling elements to this story. You are literally just reading about this couple and like the history of their relationship. It doesn't feel real. It feels silly. It's just not interesting to me. Peter Swanson completely phoned this book in. This book could be interesting, but like we keep going back in time, and there's nothing smart about it. Peter Swanson can make smart books. There's nothing smart about this book, and I just really did not enjoy it. So I gave this book 1 out of 5 stars. No. The next book I read was a book by Ali Hazelwood, and it is called Checkmate. And this book is about this girl who she used to play chess, but then something happened with her father. Her father was a really big chess player, and something happened with their relationship, and that turned her away from chess altogether. But one day, as a favor for her friend, she goes to a chess tournament, and she ends up playing one of the most like popular, well-known chess players, and she beats him. And so this kind of gets her name in the chess world, and she ends up taking an internship at this chess place. And this has her becoming part of the chess world and becoming a ranked player and getting to know this guy who is really famous and really popular and really attractive. And this is the start of their relationship and her falling back in love with chess. I'm of 2 minds when it comes to this book. Number 1, you guys know I love a nice little young adult book. This is definitely new adult. Like, people go back and forth on if new adult is a real thing. If new adult is a real thing and something you believe in, this is definitely new adult. It's a little too old for young adult, but definitely like not an adult book. So it's new adult, and I enjoy that. I just think Ali Hazelwood is a really bad writer. I don't know how to say it in a nice way. I think Ali Hazelwood really sucks at like just writing. Her prose are weak. And the thing she's really bad at, and I always forget it until I read one of her books, her inner dialogue, when she is writing a character's inner dialogue, it is so bad. Like, it is just absolutely so awful. But where Ali Hazelwood is good at, Ali Hazelwood is good at a nice setup. And this book has a really, really nice setup. And also, Allie Hazelwood does enough research when it comes to like the subject matter of her books. Like getting in the world of chess, I felt like I was in this chess world. Like she caught me up to speed, and I thought it was done really well. So like you got to ignore the fact that Allie Hazelwood cannot write, and I don't care what anybody says. And then you get into this chess world, and you have this relationship, and it's cute enough. I gave this book 3 stars, 3.25 stars. It was a cute enough book. I enjoyed myself. This is probably the most I will ever like an Allie Hazelwood book. I did not like The Love Hypothesis. I DNF'd whatever that book was that had that pink cover. I DNF'd that. I read a novella by her that I thought was fine. And this is probably the best one that I read. Will I be picking up more Allie Hazelwood in the future? I don't know. I have the audiobook for Problematic Summer Romance or something like that. So like I'll read that on audio, which now that I'm thinking about is going to be like I might not do that, because having to have someone, read to me her horrible dialogue, that's going to be a lot. But anyways, those are the 2 books that I did not own that I got to. One was bad, one was fine. Let's get into more bad books. I read Yin Yoon Lee, Must I Go? This is one of my 25 books to read in 2025. And this book is a testament to Kenya. You don't have to finish everything. You do not have to finish everything to be a completionist. It is okay to DNF a book. So in this book, we are following a woman who is about to die very soon. And she is picking up the memoir of a former lover. And so that makes her write a memoir about her life. She's in this like creative writing class down at the goddamn nursing home. And she is going to write the story of her life to give to her children so they understand her. And she wants to talk about this former lover she had, who they ended up not being together, but like, what happened in their relationship and all the stuff that was never said in his memoir about their love and all of that. So you get to know about this guy who was dead, who ended up being kind of famous. You get to know her, who was his former lover, and what's going on in her life. This book is so bad. This book is so bad. I don't remember how I got my hands on this book, so I can't even blame anyone for why I was I recommended this book? Did I see it on a list? I don't remember how I got this book, but it was awful. And the most annoying thing about this book is the main character. I always say I don't mind an unlikable main character. I don't mind main characters that do stuff that I do not like, but you have to earn it. You have to earn the personality that your main character has. This main character is giving us all types of stories, and she's like acting like she has so much wisdom and we should listen to her, but the story has not earned that wisdom. We don't understand why we should see her as this like figure that knows everything about the world. So when she's telling us these stories and she's being kind of like condescending, or she's being pessimistic, or she's judging other people, you're just like, I don't see why I should listen to you. Why do your stories matter to me? You have not proven to me. You have just had this life that has just given you so much wisdom and knowledge, and you just know everything. So you're just reading the story, and she's so uninteresting. And then you have this guy who is also uninteresting. Like, you just are reading this book and reading this book and reading this book, and you're like, none of this matters. None of this matters. This is not good. It doesn't feel like a love story. It doesn't feel like a fake memoir. It doesn't feel like any of this. Like, this book is nothingness to me. This book will show up in my worst books of 2025 because I don't understand why anyone would like this book. Like, the characters in this book are so flat. They are so flat, so uninteresting. The stories that are being told are uninteresting. I did not like anything about it. I don't see the point of this book. No, no, no. The next book I read was by Maddie Sanaa, and it is called At Least You Have Your Health. I have read another book by this author called The White Coat Diaries. I recommend everyone read The White Coat Diaries. I really enjoyed it. So this is my second book from this author. And so in this book, we have this woman who, she is kind of at her wit's end at her job. She is a doctor. She is a OBGYN, and someone comes into her hospital. This kind of like entitled white lady comes into her office, and basically they end up having a back and forth. and the hospital takes the white woman's side and wants her to apologize to the white woman, and she's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So she ends up quitting her job, and she ends up working at this wellness center that one of the mothers at her child's school runs, and it's a really sketchy wellness center. It's one of those like pseudoscience wellness centers where like they do stuff that really ain't based in science, and they basically need an OBGYN down at this wellness center, and that is what she is going to be. And that kind of gets her roped up into the world of the rich and fabulous, and like this pseudoscience and this like not trusting the medical system, and her life just quickly starts to like crumble. I really enjoyed this book. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I love reading from this author. This author does something I've learned I really enjoy, where like you never know how chaotic the characters are going to be. Sometimes when you read a book, you kind of know the beats. I read so many books a year. You kind of know exactly what every character is going to do in a situation based on the way that they are characterized throughout the book. It's like, okay, I know how they're going to respond to this. But this author does not stick to like the formula you expect in fiction. And so you're just reading the stories and you don't know where it's going to take you. The plots just come up. You just come about the plot. It's not like, okay, in the first 50 pages, I'm going to set the story up, and then we're going to rise, and then we're going to meet a climax. No, there's no real structure to her stories. They just like go, and then all of a sudden something big happens, and you just never know what's going to happen next, and the characters are so chaotic, you don't know who you should root for, and there's always a moment in the book where the 2 I've read from her, where like the main character does things that like that are kind of despicable. Like you're just like, oh, you're a bad person, and I love that. I love when an author trusts their audience. Like, I am going to show you the worst of this character, and I'm going to make you still empathize with them and understand them. I really enjoyed this author. I really enjoyed this book. I'm giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. Next book we have is Ocean Vuong. I read On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous. So in this book, we are following a character that goes by the name Little Dog. We never really find out what his real name is, but he is talking to us about his Vietnamese mom. He is telling us the story of his Vietnamese mom, how his mom came over to America, all of that has affected them and their relationship. And then we are also getting to know Little Dog as he is coming of age, and how he has a relationship with this guy, and how he learns about his sexuality and his life, and basically his entire family story, and his story of like him being in America and what is to come of that. I enjoyed this book more than I thought I was going to enjoy this book. This is me just being a Kenya. There are certain authors that I think are kind of overinflated, even if I haven't read their books, because I'm being a bitch, but I think they're kind of overinflated. I think white people read their work and it's just like, wow, you're Asian, you're great. But I don't think there's any real care and consideration that goes into the work and reading their work and actually interrogating their work. And Ocean Vuong was born in Vietnam, and I think people just do this thing where it's just like, oh wow, you're born in Vietnam, you're talking about Vietnamese people, you're great. But no one really looks to see how he's talking about these people. And so I've always kind of saw Ocean Vuong as one of those people where like there's a lot of hype, but like, is it that good? And I'm of 2 minds with that. Number one, no, I do not think this is a 5-star book. I do not think this book is as amazing as everyone's making it out to be. I think Ocean Vuong has a problem where like, instead of talking about Vietnamese people in a way that kind of humanizes them, in a way that makes them feel like real people, he talks about Vietnamese people as if they're like godly, as if they're like these oracles, as if they're like these idols we should worship. And it takes away the humanity of them. It makes it seem like they're just these all-knowing people and they just understand the world, but it's like they're a clown show. Like you're looking at them like they're a zoo or like they're a circus. It doesn't feel real. But there's a good part of this book where it's the part where Little Dog is having a gay relationship with this boy. That part is so good. When Ocean Vuong isn't trying, that is when this book is so good. But I gotta be honest with you. Ocean Vuong loves a metaphor and a simile, and some of them are so stupid. Some of them are literally so stupid. He has one that says, what a pity for one word to be stuck in another word. was it laughter? What's a word that's stuck in another word? Like basically like there's this like horrible word and then there's a good word stuck inside of it, and it's like saying what a pity that the word art is stuck in the word fart. And that's what it came across me when he said it. I was just like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, what a pity for what is the word? I should have like, I don't know, but it pissed me off when he said it, because I'm like, there are so many like good words that are stuck in like bad words, and that's why I say art and fart. Like art is stuck in the word fart. Is that such a pity? Like you're not saying anything. And once you notice it, once you notice that a lot of the stuff he's saying is like real eyes recognize real lies, like it's silly. It's silly. And so I think a lot of the stuff that he was doing with Vietnamese and his Vietnamese mom is silly, but I do think this book does have good parts to it, and Ocean Wong is not without talent. So I'm eating crow on the fact that this book was written well in many parts of it, but in other parts of it, I just think he falls down the trap that a lot of diaspora writers fall down, where it's just like, ooh, my homeland, these people, these godly people, and it's just like, these people ain't no different from anybody else. They just people trying to make it in the world, right? Anyways, I gave that book 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next book we have is Francine Spectacular Crash and Burn by Renee Swindle. So in this book, we are following a girl whose mother is a content creator. Her mother is a content creator, and her mother also has mental health issues. And one day, her mother drops dead. Her mother ends up having a heart attack and drop dead. And that leaves our main character kind of like lost, because her mother was her entire life. She used to help her mom make content. She used to take care of her mom and all this stuff. Her mom was also a drug addict. So this makes our main character kind of start taking her mom's drugs, because she's just so like, there's nothing else for me to do in this life. But one day a little boy shows up at her door. Her little boy is getting bullied by these boys in the neighborhood, and he comes to her door and it's just like, hey. And so they eventually start hanging out, and this starts our main character getting involved in the life of this little boy and his foster parents. This book was so interesting. This book is kind of like glad you have your health, at least you have your health. It's kind of like that, where like you don't know where this book is going to go with each page. I started this book, and when we ended the book, I never thought we would be here, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. These are some of my favorite characters of the year, and what I enjoy, just like At Least You Have Your Health, I like authors that are not afraid to make their characters bad people, to make their characters judgmental, nasty, rude, and also humanize them and make them kind and make them understanding. Like, we are all of these things at the exact same time, and that is what this book did. This book only has like 400 readers on Goodreads. Read this book, you guys. I think you guys are going to enjoy. It's different, and that's all I ask for in 2025, for books to just like open up something in me. So I'm going to give this book 5 out of 5 stars. Next book we have is the Lily Reads Book Club. We read The Dating Countdown by N.G. Peltier. Now, this is a 3rd book in a series. I have been enjoying this series well enough. In this book, we are following 2 lesbian lovers. They used to like have a little fling back when they were in high school, but one of our characters ended up going off to Atlanta. She married this man. Her and this man are getting divorced, and now she's back in Trinidad, and you know, they're rekindling their relationship. The problem is, our main character that married the man and ended up having a baby, she doesn't really know if she wants to be a lesbian. She understands homophobia in Caribbean culture. She doesn't know how her family is going to react, so she's hesitant. And then our other girl, she doesn't want to rush anything. She doesn't want to make it seem like this girl has to be with her, but she wants her. So this is them trying to figure out, can their relationship be more than sexual? Can they have like an intimacy that is about emotions and feelings? I did not like this book. I did not like this book because I just think this book couldn't really find its footing. I think our main characters didn't have anything to do in this book. And what I hated the most about this book is that this book just kept having false starts. Like, the narrative would start, and then like there would be something that will push the narrative back to where we began, and then we do it all over again and do it all over. And it was stilted, it was stalled, it was paralyzed, and I just really didn't enjoy myself in this. And also, it is your job as a romance book to convince me these 2 characters should be together in the end, and I wasn't convinced. I was not convinced these 2 people needed to be with each other or even wanted to be with each other. So I give this book 2 out of 5 stars. let's move on to some books I actually enjoyed this go around. So I read Erasure by Percival Everett. This was a book that I read in college, and it's been a while since I've gone back and read books I read in college for my own personal enjoyment, but I decided to pick up Erasure by Percival Everett. This book has a movie. The movie came out 2 years ago called American Fiction. I do not recommend you watch American Fiction, and if you are going to watch American Fiction, I recommend you watch American Fiction on its own and then read Erasure. I don't think you should read Erasure and then watch American Fiction, because I don't think there's any way you can read Erasure and actually believe that American Fiction is like the same thing. I think they're trying to do two totally different things. I'm not really 100% convinced that Corey Jefferson, who made American Fiction, really understood what Percival Everett was doing with Erasure. So I don't recommend American Fiction, but I do recommend Erasure, because on reread, I still gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It is crazy that this book came out 25 years ago, and it is still just so urgent and still so timely and still so important. So in this book, you are following a character by the name of Monk. Monk is an author, and don't nobody want to read his books. His books is not good, and nobody wants to read him. And so one day he decides he is going to make a blaxploitation type of book. He sees that all of these black authors are getting all of these awards and money and book deals, and they're making books about people in the ghetto. They're making books about black people in the ghetto. And so he's just like, I can do the same damn thing. I can do the same damn thing and make books about people in the ghetto. So he writes a fake book called Fuck. At first it's called My Pathology, but then he renames it to Fuck. And he ends up being rich and successful when he does that. And also at the same time, he is dealing with the fact that his sister has died and his mom has Alzheimer's, and they have a lot going on. This book is so good, and I still think you would have to read this book at least 5 times to understand what this book is actually doing. I think the most interesting book thing that Percival Everett does in this book is that Percival Everett includes the fake book that Monk writes. He includes it in this book. So a big part of this book is you just reading the fake story that Monk writes, and it's so interesting, and this is what I didn't really appreciate when I read it in college. It's so interesting when you read the fake story that it's kind of good. It's kind of good, and it makes you question why you find it good. And that's the best part of this book that I don't think American Fiction understood. This book is about grifts, and not only is it about the grifts that people try to pull on you, but it's also about the grifts you enjoy to sleep well at night. A lot of people don't realize they accept the pickle juice. A lot of people accept the grifts that people are trying to pull on them because they just want something to believe in. And I think that is just such an interesting concept. This concept of black people fucking over other black people. What are the grifts that are going on today that are just sliding by? This idea of like being part of the establishment and you just being black and being in these high spaces is a victory. But if you're just embracing the status quo, if you're just keeping the status quo alive, are you really that important? It's so good. And I think now more than ever, you can ask these questions. Look at all the popular filmmakers. Look at all the popular writers. Like, are these people doing anything to question the status quo? Is their blackness literally the only thing that is radical about them? But they're trying to tell us that what they're doing is just so important to the culture. It asks those questions, and I think those questions need to be asked more today than they needed to be asked 25 years ago. This book is so good. This book is so good. There's like 4 stories going on within here, and then the idea of Monk himself and the character in Fuck or My Pathology, the way that they're almost the exact same person. These 2 stories are running parallel to one another. I could go on and on about how good Erasure is as a book, and the movie just doesn't get it. The movie just simply does not get it. And so I really enjoyed this book. 5 out of 5 stars. Now, the reason why I read Erasure is because I did another reread. I reread James by Percival Everett. I read this book around Christmas time, and anything I do around Christmas time is kind of unserious. So therefore, I was like, I need to reread James by Percival Everett. This book did go on to win the Pulitzer in fiction. So congratulations to Percival Everett, somebody who has been in the game a long time, finally getting their tens. It's also won the National Book Award as well since I've read it. James by Percival Everett. So in this book, you are following basically James as he is a runaway slave and he is trying to get his family to freedom. He ends up running away because he finds out that he is going to be sold. And so he's trying to make deals with the devil to be able to get him and his family to freedom. He ends up running around with Huck Finn and they're just trying to, get to freedom. That's really the only way to explain this book. I have never read Huckleberry Finn, so I do know that a part of my understanding of this book is limited because I've never read Huckleberry Finn. And I don't plan on anytime soon. I will eventually. I plan on reading all the books in the world eventually, but I haven't. This book also gets 5 out of 5 stars from me. This book is just so alive and so bouncy. In the way that I think Erasure is dealing with great ideas and it's just perfect. This book has a bounce to it and a liveliness to it that you're just not getting from a lot of authors these days. This is just a tale of a man who is desperate, a tale of a man who is grappling with all the things that he has been told in life and just simply wants freedom. And he's asking himself, what does freedom mean? What does being black mean? What does being a slave mean? There's moments in this book where James is having these dream sequences where he's talking to the father of eugenics and he's talking to these racist figures and he's talking to all of these people just trying to get an understanding of who he is as a person and what is true freedom. And then there's just an interesting tale about this slave coming into contact with all these different types of people. And then I've never read Huck Finn, but I think I can tell that this book adds complexity to the characters in Huck Finn and understanding to the characters in Huckleberry Finn. And this has happened before. Percival Everett is not the first person to take a slave-like character and give them more body, bones, backstory. Gone with the Wind. An author did that with this slave character in Gone with the Wind. Back in the early 2000s. I forgot what that book is called. But yeah, it's happening. Percival Everett wasn't the first person to decide to do this. But yeah, I enjoyed this book. 5 out of 5 stars. Next book that I read was Only for a Week. This book is about a girl who her sister is about to marry her ex-boyfriend. And they all going on vacation for a pre-wedding vacation where they might even be getting married on the vacation. I don't know. But she ends up falling in love with her ex's best friend. And this is them spending the week together. This book is just one of those books where every page they have sex. So if you're horny and you want to just read about some people having sex, this is for you. It was not for me. It wasn't my day for this one. So I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars, but that is just simply because it wasn't for me. I do think that this book is for someone. Not every 2-star I give out is the same. Sometimes I give a book 2 stars because just Kenya today don't want it, but maybe in another world, maybe 5 years ago, maybe I would have. Today, this couldn't do nothing for me, so I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars. I think the worst book I read, Must I Go? Horrible book. This is second horrible. Well, Kill Your Darlings was also a horrible book. This is my third 1 star. My third 1 star for the month goes to Richard Osman, We Solve Murder. I don't even want to explain to you guys what this book is about because it's just so damn silly. So in this book, there was a dead body that this actress found, and she starts to think that someone is trying to kill her. So she ends up bringing in a bodyguard who ends up being one of our main characters to kind of protect her. And that starts them on a mission of who's trying to kill all the people around this actress. And some more dead bodies start to drop. So they end up calling in her father-in-law. They end up calling in her father-in-law to come help them with this murder and like what's going on with that. At the exact same time, there is this guy, this villain who's doing all the murdering. He is like disguising his voice with this like AI generator, and we're like getting passages from him as he's explaining why he's killing people. And then we have this like other person who is like chasing our three people trying to solve this murder, chasing them because he's trying to kill the daughter-in-law. He's trying to kill her, and everyone is running around because there's this mastermind who is literally trying to knock people off. If I told you guys why he's trying to knock people off, you'll be like, girl, whatever. This book is so damn silly. Number one, this book is just like, sometimes you read a book and you can tell a book is trying to become a TV show. I believe that there are so many characters in this book because this book wants to be a TV show. It wants to be able to put as many A-list celebrities in the TV show adaptation of it or movie so that like, you know, everyone runs to go see it. So number one, I feel like I'm literally reading like a screenplay or something because this book wants to be a movie so bad. Number two, everything is paint by numbers. That's why I say it feels like a screenplay or something because nothing is actually fleshed out. Like there's no actual complexity to any of these characters. Everyone is like painted with like the broadest of strokes so that like when someone comes in and makes this a TV show or movie, they can fill in the pieces. But when you're reading a book, you're just like, these people are uninteresting. You have the actress who is like this older, you know, sexy, horny actress that we've seen in so many murder books. Then you have the security guard who is this woman, and she's like the victim of like reverse misogyny in the sense that like, because they don't want to make her weak, they make her like overly strong to the point of ridiculousness. And so there's nothing that she can't do. People are shooting at her, trying to kill her. She gets out of every situation because she's strong. And then you have the guy who is the most interesting part of the book, is the father-in-law, but he's like weird. He's weird and so knowledgeable and knows everything for reasons. And then the relationship between the father-in-law and daughter-in-law is so weird. There's no basis for their relationship. It just kind of seems odd. She doesn't talk to her husband ever. She talks to her husband one time in the book, but she's so close to her father-in-law. It's so weird. This book is so weird. It's confusing. You guys, this is one of the few books where I got to the whodunit and I said, who the fuck is that? There are so many characters in this book that by the time that you get to who did it, I dare you to say who this person actually is in the book. Like, they're just so, like, I'm just like, I don't even know who you are. I don't even know who you are. So I gave that book 1 out of 5 stars. We're almost done, you guys. We are almost done. I read Death at Morning House. This book is about a girl who ends up burning down her family friend's house, and so she needs a new job because house sitting ain't gonna do it, and everybody in her town is making fun of her because, girl, you burnt down somebody's house. So she gets a job offer to go work at this like place called Morning House that's on this island. And this is interesting because this place, this mansion, used to be owned by this family in the early 1900s, and 3 people ended up dying in this family. And 2 people ended up dying like in the house. The youngest son was drowned, and they say that the oldest daughter committed suicide. And then go, more and more people in this family ended up dying in weird circumstances. So our main character heads to Morning House because they do tours of this mansion, and she's going to start giving tours. And she notices not only is Morning House weird, but the people who work at Morning House are even weirder. And so she's thrusted into this like mystery of what the hell is going on at Morning House back in the day and what's going on in Morning House right now with these people who work here. This book was fine. It's a young adult mystery, which like actually usually works for me. I think this book doesn't get weird or strange enough for me. There's not enough under the hood for me to just be like, oh, this book is exceptional, but it was still a fun time because it was so easy and quick to read. It was worth it. And then we get like storylines from the past that are actually really, really good. So it was worth it in that sense. I gave this book 3.2 out of 5 stars. Then we have another murder mystery, and it's another 5-star from Kenya. Yes, it is. It is called How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perlin. So in this book, we have a woman. This is the setup for so many mystery books where she has received an inheritance. She gets a letter from her grandma telling her that, hey, girl, you're going to be receiving some money, and you need to come see about it. So she goes, and she's like, I'm about to go visit my grandma. Maybe it's her aunt. It's one of those. She's like, you need to go see about some money. And so when she gets there, while her aunt slash grandma drop dead, her aunt slash grandma is dead in the house. Now, she's not the only person who was coming to see about the aunt slash grandma. So now everybody is thrusted into this murder mystery because the book is called How to Solve Your Own Murder. The grandma always knew somebody was going to kill her. And she's like, if I ever die, if any of y'all want my money, y'all need to figure out who killed me. Great setup. And so all of these people are trying to figure out who killed the woman so they can get the money that she left for them. This book was really good. And this book is also one of the books that has like a before storyline that is so juicy. It is so juicy. This book had me the entire time I was there. I already bought the sequel. I plan on reading the sequel. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It worked for me. Last book, and y'all can go. Last book, and y'all can go. Let the Games Begin by Rafaro Faith Mazarura. In this book, we are following the Olympics. We are in this fictional world where the 2024 Olympics is taking place in Athens. And so our main character, the girl, she has an internship for the Olympics because she's loved the Olympics. Her dream has always been to like work the Olympics, you know, do stuff at the Olympics. And her dream is coming true until it's not, because she gets to the Olympics and they done gave her job to somebody else. So she really don't have a job. So in order for her to be able to stay at the Olympics, she has to do like scab work. And so that's what she's going to do. And then we have our guy in the story. He is a track runner. So he's competing in the Olympics, and he has his own issues, mostly with mental health. And our two characters, they end up running into each other, and they have a bad encounter with each other. And so they end up running into each other some more, and this is about how they fall in love. It was fine. It was fine. Like, whatever. Like, whatever. It was fine. The thing I loved the most about this book was the tension. There was good tension that was built up in this book, but like, I didn't love it. It wasn't my favorite romance book of the year, but it was a good time. So anyways, I give this book 3 out of 5 stars. And that is it. That is all the books that I read in July. It was a lot. I think I read too much in July because I'm kind of like, it's not that I'm in a reading slump necessarily. I'm just kind of like, I read a lot of books in July, so I don't need to read that many books in August. But anyways, tell me what you guys read, and I will see you guys in the next one.